Welcome back to Black Butler Anime Review, episode number 23. We're here reviewing the 7th episode of the Emerald Witch arc, which is also the 64th episode of the series. His Butler. Encouraging. Adapting chapters 96 and 97. Starts out with Sullivan, where actually first... this is interesting. So we have a guy, well, this will be a German officer, possibly a high-ranking German officer. Who this is, they don't say. He just walks into what appears to be, and this was interesting. So the way it opened was quite weird. So it's like, wait, are we in modern day? Because I'm hearing a train go by. And, like, because you hear, like, a train go by in this town, which is something you hear, like, modern day. It sounds similar to a subway, but no, the trains actually exist this period of time. Steam trains mostly, yes, but there was a train going by. But the sound was similar to a subway car. And the guy just walks past the guard. Guard didn't recognize him at first. But he did, once he sees him, like, yeah. He's like, don't tell me I'm here. And then this mysterious officer walks into this archive to basically look for a particular book. He's holding a candle. Not a flashlight, a candle. And there's no electricity here, not just yet, per se. So he looks at the book like, oh, that's what we're up to. And it's a book where it has a picture of the werewolves. And good transition here because it comes straight to Lady Sullivan, where she's reading the same thing. And then she apparently just, like, oh, let's write that down. And then she proceeds like, oh, I'm going to complete my magical spell. Which she does. And she also, as soon as she's completed, she collapses, taken to her room, wakes up, and like, oh, now since I maybe go back to the real world? No, it's again, according to her butler, Wolfgang, he's like, it's against the law to go to the real world. And I'm like, I don't think it's a law per se. I think it's more like somebody's orders that he's probably following. It's like, yeah. And, of course, remember when she first became the Emerald Witch. And then we have where we continue off with the case of Cecile. By the way, Cecile does not pop up in the episode until roughly about 6 minutes in. Because that first bit I just mentioned, that's all in the first 5 minutes of the episode. And then apparently Cecile knows, like, of course, oh yeah, we also have the Emerald Witch for tea. So, says prepare to leave. So then, of course, Sullivan preparing for bed. All of a sudden, actually, she's already in bed. She wakes up to not don't knock at a door, but knock at a window by Sebastian and Cecile, where basically grant her greatest wish: see the outside world. But actually decides to take her to underground first to go to the outside world. And, like, oh, here's the magical spell. And, of course, they get past that. And then, of course, they go to a room. What it looks like to be a radar room. Yes, a room with radar. Which, when I saw this, I'm like, wait a minute. This was not invented in the 20s. Actually, I think I was on the right, but I don't remember actually. I don't know when this episode was invented, but... yeah, so I'm thinking I see this, so like, wait, it's just so using future technology here per se, because it looks like basically almost like a situation room, and apparently the map they're seeing is the actual village that Lady Sullivan was oversee. Then we hear some German officer possibly walking by, like someone speaking German, and then they leave this room where it's like a hallway in a bunker, and then they open this door. And then it's like, oh, there's this, like, stuff with this weird stuff in tanks. And then I come across the old Chrome, which turns out to be a scientist. Where we have people people think they're werewolves. And like, ooh, let's name this. Yeah, basically, yeah. And then one of the werewolves knows the fact that Sullivan's there, goes to retrieve her. And then one of the werewolves, the head gets sliced in half by a butter knife. Yes, Sebastian brought a butter knife for him and proceed to slice this mask open. Yep, it's a mask. The whole werewolf thing was basically a ruse. And the miasma that this old crone had been preaching, it's gas. Very deadly gas. And it looks like apparently something more. This is something what happened last season's, like it had a little bit of build. Like this one had a little bit longer of build, that one. But this overall was a fantastic episode, and we're leading into the next episode, which will air this coming Saturday. Let's hope I get a chance to do this coming Saturday. I hope so, yes. So as of now, there is exactly 6 more episodes left to go for the season, and then that's it. And I'm really hoping we might get a season this really soon. In fact, there's still plenty of material to adapt. Yep, so yeah, this particular took a view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next to the Comic Corner, and then it's on to One Piece. Okay, next view. Bye.